All right, so lesson 4.5 is all about triangles. So the goal is that you can determine whether a triangle is right, obtuse, or acute based on side measures. So a couple of things to just remember. So a right triangle, what is it? It's a triangle with one 90-degree angle. And then it says, what does it look like? It looks like some variation of this where it's like a perfect corner and then this is connected. That was terrible, but whatever. So that's what it looks like. Okay. And then acute is a triangle with 3 angles below 90 degrees. So like 70, 60, 50 or whatever. What that one's going to look like is maybe like this. So all the angles are under 90 degrees. And then last is obtuse triangles. So this is a triangle with one angle over 90. So what that looks like is it might look like this, where it's got one big angle down here. This is your 190-degree angle. I'm sorry, your one angle over 90 degrees. So in a right triangle, what is the relationship with the sides? So in a right triangle, what we know is that A, B, and C, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That's what we know about right triangles. They are equal. And then here we know that A, B, and C, A, B, and C. Okay, there's some different relationships here, and I'm just going to tell them to you. Okay, so what ends up happening here is that if you take A squared and B squared, and then you compare it to C squared, and over here, A squared plus B squared compared to C squared, what's going to happen in an obtuse triangle, so I'm going to start with obtuse because this one makes the most sense to me. The C squared is going to be bigger than A and B combined. Here's how I remember this. So this is the sign that means something is obtuse. Here's how I think of this. This angle is so big, it is going to need a huge lid. It's going to need a big top to cover it. If that top is so big that it is bigger than 2 sides combined, it's going to be obtuse because it's like, holy crap, this is a huge opening we need to cover. It's huge. It's bigger than 2 sides combined because on this side, we combine 2 sides. So if C squared is bigger than the other 2, then it is an obtuse triangle. And then the last one is just the last symbol, which means that the A and B are bigger. That would mean it's an acute triangle. When I say bigger, what I mean is like this side might be 25 and this side is 16. So that would be acute. If this side comes out as 100 and this comes out as 130, it's going to eat the 130. That's where the teeth go. So that would make that an obtuse triangle. And then if this one comes out like 64 and 64, those are equal. Okay. So what we're going to do below is we are going to do some calculating to identify what kind of triangle is what. So down here, the one thing I did not tell you guys is how do you know what is A, what is B, and what is C? There's one thing. C is biggest. Okay? So in this one, the C would be 11. So what I do is I put a C above the number 11 because 11 is the biggest number. That is automatically C. And then what we do is we say, okay, well then 8 squared plus 9 squared. Then I put a box here because I don't know what the relationship is. That's what I'm trying to figure out. And then we have 11 squared. We need to compare those. So remember, if it's right, it's going to look like this. If it's obtuse, that's the symbol. And if it's acute, it's that symbol. So I'm going to just pause really quick. What questions do you guys have up to this point? What questions do you guys have?
Why do we need a box?
Good question. The reason we use a box is because I don't know if I need to use this sign. I don't know if I need this sign. And I don't know if I need this sign yet. Like, that's the question. Like, okay, crap, what symbol do I put in there? If you don't want to put the box, that's okay. But do not write equals. If you don't put the box, just do this and leave a space. Okay? Because we don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because we just don't know yet what goes in there. That's what we're going to figure out right now. Does that answer your question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can you just scroll up a tish?
Yep.
So for the acute one, there's a 90 degrees, correct?
No, there's all three are under 90 degrees.
Oh, that's right. Yep. And so the C isn't, okay. I was just trying to figure out for the C. But it's
C
the
will
biggest
just,
number.
Yep. Because there's not like a hypotenuse. It's just going to end up being the biggest.
Okay. Maybe it's just like the way it was drawn. It looked like the hypotenuse. So never mind. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Okay, so then what we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to calculate this. So we're going to go 8 squared is 64. And then 9 squared is 81. And then 11 squared is 121. So then on the one side, we need to check what 64 plus 81 is. This is 145. And that compares to 121. So I didn't write the box just because I didn't want anyone to get confused. But which symbol is going to go in there? Which number, which way is it going to open? Is it going to open towards the 45 or open towards the 121? Let me do this. I'm going to create a poll. All right, I want you guys to take a vote. So vote on, and it doesn't say your name on here, so you can vote, but I want to know which symbol do I put here? What symbol goes there? So everyone is voting in the upper right corner. Go vote.
Your voice is glitchy.
Is it glitchy for everybody?
Not for me.
Not for me.
Miss Nina.
Yeah?
Your voice is glitchy.
Oh, Mumtaz, I wonder if it's the connection on your end.
Okay, so all right, I have 3 people that voted. Thank you, 3. Would love it if more of you, 4 people. Okay, so this one is going to open this way because the shark, at least that's how I learned it, the shark or the alligator is hungry, so it eats the bigger number. Here's like, this is my rendition of an alligator. Yeah. Okay. So it's going to eat the 45, which means this is what kind of triangle? Bah. We use that symbol, so that means this is acute. All right. So, whoops. Let's try the next one. So this next one, the C is going to be 18 because 18 is the biggest number. Okay, so when we set this up, we're going to go 10 squared plus 11 squared, and then we're going to put 18 squared on the side. If you want to put a box here, you can, or just leave a big space. Okay, 10 squared means 10 times 10. 11 squared means 11 times 11. 18 squared means 18 times 18, which is 324. 100 plus 121 is 221 compared to 324. I'm going to end this, trash it, and do one more. Okay, vote on this one. Which symbol are we going to put in between these two? Which symbol will we put between those two? It's in the upper right corner. Got 2 votes, 3 votes. I do want to let you guys know I can see who, like, this might be an attendance thing where you vote, and if that's how we see who's here and who's participating, that might be how we do attendance instead, because it'll send me an email with who answered what. Okay, 4 votes. 5. All right. Well, it looks like everybody's putting the right thing. So for this one, it is this guy. We're going to eat the 324, which means this is an obtuse triangle. Okay. All right. So I'm going to end this poll, and I'm going to have you guys kind of walk me through the next one. So I'm going to trash that, create a new one. This is pretty much what your quiz is going to look like, just so you guys have a heads up. Okay, so we're going to start this first problem, and I'm going to start by launching this question. So the question is, what is C? So if you look at this one, the first question is, what is C? Everybody should answer this. This is the last one that we have, I think. Okay, let's see what we got. And the poll, good. So 26 is in fact the C value. And why do we know that that's C? How did you guys know it was C? You can speak or you can type.
Because C is always the biggest.
You got it, exactly. So once we figure out what C is, then you can just set up this part like this. So when we calculate this, we need to do 24 times 24 or 24 squared, either one. So this is 576. 10 squared is 100. 26 squared is 676. Over here, 500 plus 100 is 676. Whoopsie. So, sorry, that was really messy. So the next question that I have is this one. Okay, so I want everybody to answer that poll question. Which one is the appropriate symbol? Which symbol do we use? All right. Good. So, oh, nice. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut that off. But yeah, 6 of you voted that time. And it is equals. That is correct. So then my last question is going to be, whoopsie, what type of triangle is this? Whoop, whoop, there we go. Okay, so my next question is, what type of triangle is this? That is the whole point of this lesson.
What triangle?
What's that?
What triangle?
These 3 numbers represent the sides of a triangle. So we're trying to decide what kind of triangle it would be if we were to draw that. So it would be a right triangle. The reason it's a right triangle is because the 2 sides were equal. So we have a right triangle. Okay? All right. Let me just see. Oh, there's a couple more. Do you guys want to try? Do you want to do a couple more real quick? Are you starting to get the hang of it?
I don't mind.
Okay. So I'll just do one and then I'll ask you guys to do this next one all the way through. So I'm going to do this one all the way through and then I'll have you guys do that one. So C is 29 because that's the biggest. So I'm going to do 20 squared plus 21 squared on this side. This is 400. So that side is 841. And then this side is 841. That's equal, so that means this is a right triangle. All right, can you guys take a moment and can you try to do this one all the way through? So that means, figure out what one is C, write out this step, write out this step, write out this, and then decide which one it is. This is really the biggest goal for this lesson. I want you guys to do this one right here, okay? If people are watching the video, you can pause or fast forward, but try to do this one right now. All right, when you're done, can you put done in the chat. Okay. Lance.
Well, I have a question.
Sure.
Should I do 16 squared plus 25 squared?
Mm-hmm.
That's it?
On the one side, yep. And then check what 35 squared is on the other. Okay, I'm going to start to set it up just to see if you guys are on the right track here. So this is C. I'm hoping you guys got that. So 16 squared plus 25 squared is over here. And then we're going to do 35 squared over on that side. Okay. So you could type this all in your calculator at once. 16 squared plus 25 squared. And that's 881. And then over here, 35 squared. That is 1225. So then the question is, which way does it eat? Well, this alligator is going to eat that way because 1225 is bigger. So since that one side was bigger, that makes this obtuse. Are you guys okay with that? Did you get that?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to do this last one real quick, just so you have multiple things to run on if you feel like you're getting it, just to like triple check. So we got 8 squared plus 12 squared over here, and then we'll do 15 squared on this side. 8 squared is 64, 12 squared is 144, 15 squared is 225. Don't ask me why I know. 144 plus 60 is 204, plus 4 is 208. Let me just double check that. Okay. Whoops. Oh my gosh. Not trusting myself. Okay, so that means this one's obtuse as well. Okay. So there's that. And then here's just one more example, just so you can see like why this is like good to know. This is actually for real. Like this is a real story. My stepdad and I were building an IKEA shelf that looked like, I tried to find the exact one. It looked like this, except this part was white on ours as well. And he wanted to like drill this to the wall, like anchor it in so that it wouldn't fall down. I hope that makes sense. So we built this thing and it was laying down on the floor and he was like, all right, Nina, we got to measure the diagonals. And I was like, what? Why? So what he wanted to do was when this was face down, he wanted to check this and this. So the reason he wanted to do that is to make sure that it was actually square. And when you're talking square in construction, when you say something is square, that means that it's 90 degrees. So he wanted to check to make sure that that was 90 degrees and that this was 90 degrees down here. So we measured the diagonals. So this is a slight twist. What we actually did is we just measured this and we measured this. When those two purple lines are the same length, it means everything is perfect. Everything is good. Like we were okay. But let's say we were just feeling crazy. And 74 inches was the distance up the side and the bottom was 35 inches. And then we just measured the one diagonal, which is 85. We could check to see if it actually is a right angle here by seeing if this forms a right triangle. So what we could have done, and we didn't, we just measured both diagonals. But what we could have done is checked if 74 squared plus 35 squared, if it actually equals 85 squared, then that means we were solid, like that we were okay to go. So we can type this in here, 74 squared plus 35 squared is this much, and then 85 squared Ooh, not. So 6701, 7225. This is bigger, which means that this thing must have been slightly tilted. This is an exaggeration, but it must have been slightly tilted like this. And then we would have had to kind of straighten it up to move it up like this so that it was actually like level. So this is one just example of where this kind of stuff might apply. Obviously, we could just measure here, but there are instances where it's maybe not as easy to measure that. Does that make sense to you guys? Like, I guess the biggest thing is this makes sense. I'm going to stop recording real quick.